Hi everyone, we are excited to have you here in today's fun-filled learning session at YOLO. Here is a quick look at how you can submit your work after the class. As a first step, go to live.yolo.com. You can use any browser to access this site. On this page, you will see a list of all our classes. Scroll down and you can see the Submit Your Work button. And then you will see a list of the classes that you've last attended, which could, for example, show the dance or craft or science experiment classes you've attended recently. Next, it will show you the list of children whose names are registered in this mobile number. Choose your name from this list to submit your work. For instance, if you are Satvik Kumar, choose that name. And then choose the class for which you would like to make your submission. For example, if you've attended the New Year's Masquerade Party session and you'd like to make the submission for this class, click on the Submit Your Work button below that. And then upload the photo you've taken. Choose the image from your phone and click Submit. You can scroll down and view all your past submissions and see how many of your friends or peers have liked your work. You can also see others' work and like their work to inspire your friends. If you want to showcase your work on social media, that too is very simple. Click on Share, copy the link and post it on Instagram or Facebook or any other platform of your choice. Just a tiny reminder, your submission looks a lot better if you could click a photo in the landscape mode rather than the portrait mode. Do not forget to tag us at YOLO_app. I'm eagerly looking forward to all your submissions right after this class.
Hello everyone. I hope everybody went through the submission process right. And if you haven't, don't worry, we'll be playing the entire instruction at the end also. So in case you have missed it out, you can have a look again at the end of the class. All right. Okay. So what are the materials are we going to need? So along with the sheet of paper and a board, you will be needing your pencil and eraser and a scale. All right, a scale or a ruler. You will need coffee, obviously. What else along with that? You will need two containers, two small bowls or two small containers like these, and a glass of warm water. Remember, the water should be warm. Along with that, you will need your brushes to paint. All right. So these were the basic materials that you need. Okay. Remember, the glass of water that you should be using for painting should be warm enough. All right, because that is how coffee will be dissolving. If it's cold, the coffee won't dissolve nicely and you will not get a perfect mixture. All right. So everybody quickly get ready with the coffee and with all other equipments. Okay. Shall we begin? So first we will make the drawing. We'll make the drawing for our painting. All right. So in the drawing, we will have a center line that is dividing the water and the sky, and we will have a set of buildings. So just see how I will be drawing. Just have a look. Okay, so everybody just take your pencil, take your ruler, and somewhere from the middle of the paper, it can be a middle or it can be a bit towards the lower end, draw a straight line that will divide your sky and the water. Okay, just divide your paper into two parts like this. They can be equal parts also, or they can be, one can be larger, one can be a bit smaller. This is the first step. Just everybody mark this line. All right. Everybody ready? Now for the next step, we will be drawing our buildings. All right, so just see how we will be drawing the buildings. You don't need to draw them exactly as I draw. Just get the concept, how we are using the scale and what sort of shape we are looking for. And you can draw as many and as variety of buildings as you want to. Just see. So here I have my ruler and I will be using it to draw some large, thick buildings. Okay, I'm just drawing the outlines. I will be drawing the upper portions later on. So like this, just draw nicely with your scale or with your ruler. Just draw some large buildings. Okay, don't draw smaller buildings now. Draw large, tall or thick buildings. All right. Right now, I'm just drawing the vertical lines. I will be joining the tops of these lines to make them buildings. Just see, I'm drawing the lines very randomly. Don't draw with too much pressure on your pencil. Draw these structures very lightly. All right. Don't apply too much pressure on your pencil. So see, I'm just joining the tops. If you're not comfortable joining them freehand, you can use a ruler also to join the tops like this. Okay. Everybody finish up to this step. Everybody finish the drawing till this step. So what have we done? We have just drawn a straight line and we have drawn some large buildings. Okay. Remember, when you're drawing these large buildings, your pencil should not be too stressed upon on the paper. Okay. It should be very light. Yes. The markings of the pencil should be very light. Everybody quickly finish drawing the buildings. Remember to draw less number of buildings. Focus more on the thickness and on the length so that the buildings look huge. These are the buildings that are going to be in the background. The ones that are in the front, we will be drawing them directly with coffee. We'll just wait for everybody so that everybody catches up. All right. It's a very, very simple drawing. Everybody just get it done quickly. Okay. Once this is done, you can just join the lines like this. This is just for your reference. You can either use to join the lines or not. Completely up to you. Let's finish the drawing till this part, everyone. We'll just give it 30 seconds more so that everybody catches up. Remember, less number of buildings, but the building should be large and they should be tall. All right. Shall we move on now? Okay. So everybody, now keep the painting paper aside and get your get the containers, and we will now start mixing the coffee. Everybody get the containers, get the warm glass of water and the coffee powder. Also, if you have a spoon in the house, take it out. You can use that to address the amount of water that you will be putting in the containers. All right. So just see, just have a look how we will be mixing it. So here are my two containers and here's my spoon. Okay. So I will just take out some coffee. Okay, see, in one I have poured just a little amount of coffee, and in the other container I am putting in more amount of coffee. Just see the difference in the amounts of coffee. One is having just half a spoon, the other is having 2 spoons. And see, the one where coffee is more, I will be putting less water, very less water. And the one where coffee is less, I will be putting more amount of water. Just the opposite. Wherever you've put more coffee, put less water. Wherever you've put less coffee, put more water. Just the opposite. This will be the rule for all of your classes. So just keep it in mind and follow it for all the classes. In the 2 containers, wherever you put the coffee more in amount, the water should be less. Wherever you put less coffee, water should be more. All right. Now, once you've poured the water, just take a brush and just mix the coffee so that it nicely mixes up and it gives you an even solution. So here I have a brush and I will nicely mix it up. See, because the water is warm, the coffee is instantly dissolving. If your water is cool, then the coffee won't dissolve like this. Now for this mixture, the coffee won't dissolve properly. It will form a paste because we have used very, very less water and more amount of coffee. So that is what we want. That is what we are aiming for. One should be a clear solution like this and one should be a paste like this. Everybody just get the mixtures done. We'll just start the painting. Let everybody complete the mixtures first. All right, everyone ready? Shall we move on to the painting now? Okay, everybody take out a nice thick brush. A nice thick brush, everybody take out. Okay, we'll move on to the painting portion. So here is the painting paper back again. And now first we will be painting using the light colored solution. Light colored as in where you've put more water. We will be using that container first. Okay, everybody getting it? The container where we have put more water, that is the container that we have to use. Leave the other container, leave the dark color container aside. Use the light color container. Okay, where you've put more water, that will be your lightly colored. The coffee solution will be lightly colored in that. And take out a nice thick brush. So what are we going to do here? Just see, I will be dipping my brush in this solution, in this coffee solution. And I will simply cover up all of these buildings. Just simply color in all of these buildings. Keep taking the coffee and just color in all of these buildings. Remember, we are using the container where we have poured very little amount of coffee and lots of water. That is the container that I am using. Just have it in mind, okay? Don't use the other container now. You can see I'm just filling in the boxes, these building boxes that I have drawn. I'm just filling them in with the coffee solution. Just fill up all of these buildings with the coffee solution. You can join the ends like this. Okay, like I'm joining all the buildings, you can join the buildings like this. Continue filling in all of the boxes. Okay, so like this, you will have to fill in all of the boxes that you've drawn. Everybody get it done till this step? Everybody just get it done till this step. We'll just wait for everyone to catch up, don't worry. All right, pretty easy, right? We are just filling in the boxes, that's all. We are just filling in the boxes with the container where there is more water. Okay. We will move on now. With the same container now, just make some lines like this. It will seem as if there's water. All right, just make some lines like this. Just make some lines like this using that same container, that light container. Just make a few lines like this so that it looks like water. It's very random lines. Just make some lines like this. If you are not comfortable making lines, you can directly cover the entire thing. Cover the entire water portion with that coffee container's color. That is your container with more water. Just completely fill it up. Completely fill up that entire thing if you're not comfortable making these sort of lines. All right? Everybody just get it done till this step. The light container part, everybody just complete. The buildings and the water. Everybody quickly complete the water portion. Like I told you, if you're not comfortable making these water lines, you can just completely fill that entire thing with that color that you are using. Okay, you don't need to make lines like this if you're not comfortable. If it seems difficult for you, you can just cover the entire surface with that color. Just like you've been filling the boxes, just fill that entire water portion also with that same color. All right. Shall we move on now to the other portion? Okay. Now everybody, you can just wash off that thick brush that you've been using, and you can take another brush that is a bit pointed, or you can take a thin brush also. Okay. Now we will be making the buildings that are in the front. These buildings are lighter because they are at the background. Okay. You see, sometimes when there is fog, if you look at the background, you will see that the buildings are not clearly visible. So that is the sort of effect that we are looking for here. Okay, these buildings were in the background. That is why we have used the light color. Now we will be using the dark color container, the dark coffee mixture that we have, where we have used less water. We will be using that container, and we will be painting the buildings that are in the front. All right, everybody ready? Everybody just take a fresh brush, okay, one that is a bit pointed or one that is a bit thin. So see here, I've got the dark paste. Now how I will be making the buildings on top of these, just see. Nicely load up your brush with that coffee paste and see how I will be drawing. See, immediately you can see the difference between the coffee shades. This one is so much darker, right? This one is so much darker. Now I will be making smaller and more thinner and smaller buildings. Just see. I will be making buildings in the front that are thinner and smaller. So just keep making buildings like this in the front. All right. Remember, your building should now be thinner and smaller in size than the buildings that are at the background. The buildings that you drawn first, these buildings should be smaller than that. Okay. If anybody is not confident, if you feel that you will not be able to draw straight buildings with the brush only, you can first take the help of your pencil and ruler, and you can draw out the shapes with the pencil, and then you can fill them in with this color. Okay, just like you've done with the background. Similarly. So like this, just keep making buildings in front. Keep making these boxes in the front. I will just keep repeating this process all across this line. See, all of my buildings are smaller than the buildings that are behind. There is no such compulsion of drawing exactly how as I am drawing. You can draw any number of buildings. Your buildings can be as long or as short as you want. But remember, they should not be too tall. They should not cross the length of the buildings that are at the back. Okay, the buildings that are drawn with the light color, they should not be taller than them. Try to make them as short as possible, shorter than the ones that are in the background. Just keep making buildings like this along the entire length of that line. I don't think anybody would be having any doubts, right? It's pretty simple. Pretty simple, right? Remember, there is no necessity of following the exact pattern that I'm drawing. You can draw your buildings in any way possible. Just remember, they should look like buildings, and they can be of any length provided that they are shorter than the buildings that you have drawn in the previous round. Take your time. Remember, your drawing should be nice and neat. So whenever you are submitting your artworks, what I'm looking for is the neatness. Your drawing should be looking nice and neat. And at times what happens is that your drawing might be very good, but your photograph is not clear. So whenever we play the rules for the submission, just have a look at it, listen to it properly, and take a nice clear photograph so that it is visible. If you work so hard and then your work is not visible to me, then it's a work in vain, right? Yes, you're putting in so much effort. So I want to see all of your beautiful works in the submissions. All right. Finish the buildings, everyone. Okay, so like this, you will have to draw all of the buildings. You can make a few lines in the water now, just to give it a nice look. You can just draw a few lines on the water like this with the dark color. And I will just add a few drops of coffee like this so that it looks nice and pretty. Okay, everybody getting the basic idea? Everybody finished drawing the buildings and making these dots. If you wish to, these dots are not at all compulsory, but they will make your painting look nice and pretty. Okay. Also, if you want, you can add a few lines in the water like this so that it looks real. All right. Just get the buildings done, everyone. We'll just wait for everybody to catch up. Okay. So everybody, by now, you should have gotten the basic idea how to draw the buildings, right? So in this way, you will have to complete the entire line and draw the buildings in the front using the darker color. And then you can just put a few drops of that dark colored coffee in the sky like this so that it looks nice and pretty. Also, you can use that same color and you can draw a few birds in the sky also. These are just a few ideas that I'm giving you on how to make your painting look nice and finished. Okay. Completely up to you. It is completely up to you how you decorate your buildings. Okay, what additions you do to them. You can draw windows to them. You can draw little structures like these on top of them, towers on top of them. Okay, completely up to you. Just that it should be neat. The final product should be neat. That is what I'm looking for. Okay, whenever you draw birds in the sky or little stars in the sky, or if you want to draw a night scenery, you can draw a moon or a sun in the sky also. Remember, you should be using a thin brush like this one. Okay, like I'm drawing birds right now, I'm using a thin brush so that it is nice and detailed. Okay, so now your city landscape painting is complete. So what all did you learn in this class? Okay, firstly, you learned your concepts of background and foreground. See, the first round of paintings that we drew, they were in the background. So we use the lighter color because when things are in the background, they are not visible to us clearly. They are very far away. So that is why we've used the lighter color to make it look as if they are not visible to us properly. The buildings that are in the front, for them, we have used darker colors because they are in the front, so we can easily see them. All right. And also for these buildings, you learn how to use the dark color and draw the silhouettes. These outlines are known as silhouettes. Okay. So these are the techniques that you learn today using your coffee painting. So I hope everybody had fun, right? And I'm very, very sure that all of you will be submitting your work because this was pretty easy and the outcome looks really, really pretty, right? Yes, I want to see all of your beautiful artworks in the submissions. And also in the next class, we will learn some more techniques, some new techniques using same coffee. All right, we will draw a new scenery or maybe something else, but the techniques that we will learn will be new. In every class, you will learn something new. So please attend all of the classes of the series. All right. Okay. So those of you who had missed out on the submission process, just have a look right now. We'll be playing the submission process instructions again. Please have a look at them, listen to them, and then make your submissions accordingly. All right? Okay. Hope to see all of you in the next class and hope to see all of your submissions. Bye-bye. Take care, everyone.
Hi everyone, we are excited to have you here in today's fun-filled learning session at YOLO. Here is a quick look at how you can submit your work after the class. As a first step, go to live.yolo.com. You can use any browser to access this site. On this page, you will see a list of all our classes. Scroll down and you can see the Submit Your Work button. And then you will see a list of the classes that you've last attended, which could, for example, show the dance or craft or science experiment classes you've attended recently. Next, it will show you the list of children whose names are registered in this mobile number. Choose your name from this list to submit your work. For instance, if you are Satvik Kumar, choose that name. And then choose the class for which you would like to make your submission. For example, if you've attended the New Year's Masquerade Party session and you'd like to make the submission for this class, click on the Submit Your Work button below that. And then upload the photo you've taken. Choose the image from your phone and click Submit. You can scroll down and view all your past submissions and see how many of your friends or peers have liked your work. You can also see others' work and like their work to inspire your friends. If you want to showcase your work on social media, that too is very simple. Click on Share, copy the link and post it on Instagram or Facebook or any other platform of your choice. Just a tiny reminder, your submission looks a lot better if you could click a photo in the landscape mode rather than the portrait mode. Do not forget to tag us at